warm welcome to The World Today. I'm Joker Rogers here on Channels Television. We begin with the news of the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, who is in custody on suspicion of misconduct in a public office. The King's brother was arrested at about 8 a.m. this morning at the Sandringham estate in Norfolk. King Charles says he learned with the deepest concern of Andrew's arrest, adding that the law must take its course. Prince William and Catherine are understood to support the statement. Police are searching addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk, including the Royal Lodge in Windsor, where the former prince lived until recently. It comes after Thames Valley Police said that they were assessing a complaint over the alleged sharing of confidential material by the former prince with late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. It comes after Thames Valley Police said that they were assessing a complaint over the alleged sharing of confidential material by the former prince with Jeffrey Epstein. Andrew, who turned 66 today, has previously denied any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein. He has not responded to the media requests for comments on the specific allegations in relation to the release of millions of Epstein files in January. Staying in Britain, Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper has described a 10-year prison sentence handed down in Iran to a British couple as totally unjustifiable. Lindsay and Craig Foreman from East Sussex were arrested in January 2025 while traveling through Iran on a round-the-world motorcycle trip and were later charged with espionage. Ms. Cooper says the sentence is appalling and totally unjustifiable, and that the UK government would pursue the case relentlessly until the couple are safely returned. Joe Bennett, Lindsay Foreman's son, told the media that the family had been informed of the sentence last week and was deeply concerned about the couple's welfare. He describes it as a lack of transparency in the judicial process. The couple are due to appear before a court in Tehran in the coming days. Elsewhere, the fourth and most high-profile day of a global artificial intelligence summit in India is underway, with world leaders such as the United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres and French President Emmanuel Macron taking the floor to discuss how to handle the fast advancing technology that's prompting investment enthusiasm and deep concern in equal measure. The huge gathering in New Delhi, India, is the fourth in a series of international AI meetings that have been taking place since 2023 in France, South Korea, and the United Kingdom. Job disruption, child safety, and regulations have topped the agenda of this year's edition. UN Chief Mr. Guterres spoke on Thursday, warning of the risks of AI, saying its future cannot be left to the whims of a few billionaires. The UN chief called on tech tycoons to support a $3 billion global fund to ensure open access to the fast advancing technology for all. And French President Mr. Macron also spoke of needing deep involvement and a determination to continue to shape the rules of the game. Also speaking on Thursday, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted recent launches of AI models by Indian companies, saying that the AI model which succeeds in India can be deployed all over the world. Peru has a new interim president following the removal from office of Jose Jerry by Congress over allegations of influence peddling, which Jerry has denied. Member of Congress elected Jose Maria Balcazar to lead the country on an interim basis until the end of July, when a new president, who will be chosen in a general election, will be sworn in. Balcazar, from the left-wing Free Peru Party, is the 8th president to govern Peru since 2016, with several previous leaders also deposed by Congress. He said he will guarantee the people of Peru a peaceful and transparent democratic and electoral transition. And Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Mikhail Galuzin says trilateral negotiations on the Ukrainian settlement are continuing, although they are rather difficult. Geneva admitted that he would like to reserve a personal impression for some other occasion. He drew attention to the brief but succinct words of heads of the Russian delegation, Vladimir Bedinsky, following the talks that the negotiations were tough but businesslike. The talks between Russia, the United States, and Ukraine were held on February 17 to 18. The first day, they lasted about 6 hours. On the second, about 2. Medinsky said that a new meeting will be held soon. The first round of trilateral security consultations involving Russia, Ukraine, and the United States were held in Abu Dhabi on January 23rd to 24th, and the second round on February 4th to 5th. And still to come on the program, we'll bring you more from stories from around the world on The World Today. Do stay with us. Welcome back. A Ghanaian woman is alleged to have stolen a baby from a clinic in Mamprobi Polyclinic in Ghana. The woman was later identified as 33-year-old Latifa Idrisu, who allegedly posed as a nurse at the facility to abduct the 4-day-old newborn. Reports indicate that the suspect fled with a stolen child on a waiting motorcycle that was parked outside the hospital premises. Latifa Idrisu and the newborn were, however, apprehended at the Kolbu Teaching Hospital following a tip-off.
The Nansuman Divisional Police Command of the Ghana Police Service has arrested suspect Latifa Salifu in connection with the stealing of a 4-day-old baby boy from the postnatal ward of Mamprobi Hospital here in Accra. The arrest follows swift police investigations and public cooperation after the incident was reported on Tuesday, the 17th of February 2026. On the 17th of February 2026 at about 10 a.m., one Abigail Chukini, accompanied by Henrietta Abe Blessed, reported to the police that an unidentified woman disguised as a nurse and had stolen a newborn baby from the hospital's postnatal ward. The baby's mother, Precious Ankoma, informed the police that she delivered the baby boy on the 14th of February 2026. She stated that a woman dressed in a nurse's peach-colored uniform took the baby under the pretext of administering medication and disappeared thereafter. Police immediately visited the facility, obtained statements, and immediately launched a manhunt for the suspect. This afternoon, it is refreshing to know that today at about 3:40 this morning, the police arrested suspect Latifa Salifu, who is 33 years of age and is a cloth seller here in Accra, at the premises of Kolbu Teaching Hospital, where she was found with a baby suspected to have been the missing child. Suspect claimed that she had delivered at the hospital and was discharged due to lack of beds. However, police investigations at the hospital revealed there was no records to support her claim.
In Nigeria, the country now commands the 22nd most powerful naval force in the world and #1 in Africa, a milestone the Navy says was earned through rigorous investment and strategy. The Director of Naval Information, Captain Abidemi Folorunsho, highlighted this achievement during a visit to Channels Television's Lagos headquarters, where he sought collaboration towards a better representation of naval operations. Received by senior management staff, Captain Folorunsho also outlined the roadmap for the Navy's upcoming 70th anniversary and reaffirmed the force's zero-tolerance stance on crude oil theft.
Yes, Operation Delta Sanity 2 to Operation Delta Sentinel. It coincides with the federal government's mandate to ramp up production to 2.5 million barrels per day this year, and as part of Nigerian Navy's effort to ensure that we support the President's directive to see how we support boosting of production to achieve that goal. So basically, naval operations, to support it, we're leveraging technology, the use of drones, more ships, and the commander of the task group, the Flag Officer Commanding Central Naval Command, Rear Admiral Suleiman AS, rightfully taking charge of that particular operation. At the last count, I don't have the right numbers offhand right now, but I know that we prevented over 87,000 plus barrels of crude oil from being stolen this month alone, and this is 18th of February. And Nigeria has been ranked number 22 in the world in terms of the strength of its navy, talking about the number of naval assets that the nation has. And rightfully 152 ships strong, and they ranked us number one in Africa in terms of the naval strength. It's something that just speaks to painstaking investments by the federal government and the astute management of the former chiefs of the naval staff, and I mean the incumbent chief of naval staff, who has been in the forefront, in the vanguards, of naval operations. I mean, it also speaks to investments in indigenous shipbuilding, and like we have the Seaward Defense Boat program. We're in the 5th iteration. This year we intend to commission the 4th and the 5th one. And this has been on since 2007 when the program started. We've built 5 warships, we've built 1 ferry, and we've built, I think, 2 tugboats or thereabouts. So it didn't come as a surprise that eventually we are ranked number 1 in Africa. I think the real challenge now is to ensure that working with, to ensure that we consolidate on that position to make sure that we continue to guarantee the maritime safety and security of our maritime environment. Yeah.
More security matters here in Nigeria. Defense attaches of the United Kingdom and Germany to Nigeria have reaffirmed their commitment to supporting Nigeria's fight against terrorism and insurgency during a historic visit to the headquarters Theatre Command Operation Hadinkai in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Brigadier Tom Harper of the United Kingdom praised the strong and enduring relationship between both countries, noting their shared values of democracy, rule of law and human rights. He also commended the Nigerian Armed Forces for their sustained efforts in combating insurgency in the northeast and pledged continued training support through the British Military Advisory Team. Germany's defense attaché Colonel Boris Bovkamp stated that the visit provided an opportunity to explore new areas of collaboration, particularly in capacity building and regional cooperation aimed at strengthening operational effectiveness against terrorism. The theatre commander, Major General Abdusalam Abubakar, appreciated the contributions of the UK and Germany governments, highlighting the impact of training support on the troops' proficiency. The visit ended with the signing of the visitors' register, an exchange of souvenirs, and a group photograph. And here in Lagos, the ambassador of Japan to Nigeria, Suzuki Hideo, paid a courtesy visit to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu at the Lagos House in Marina, marking another step in deepening diplomatic and economic relations between Lagos and Japan. The visit provided both parties an opportunity to explore areas of mutual interest, particularly around economic cooperation, infrastructure development, and investment opportunities that could further strengthen the Lagos-Japan partnership.
Major Japanese companies and investment funds are also emerging recently, focusing on the growth of Lagos state startups, for example, and forming very viable partnerships. And furthermore, given the high level of interest in Japan's creative and entertainment industry within Lagos State, I anticipate strengthening collaboration in the field.
We need to, like you said, do a lot of exchange in areas of cultural and entertainment. Your country is a very strong cultural country, and we are as well. You've seen, we're the biggest, fashion entertainment, music in the whole of Africa. We continue to ensure that we make the city and the state safe, secure, hospitable for all our both local and foreign friends, nationals that are here, and it's everybody. We try and make the place as hospitable and as conducive for safety of life and property, and for businesses to grow, for development to happen. So tell your businesses that if they think of Africa, it should be Nigeria, and in Nigeria it should be Lagos.
Special Assistant to President Tinubu on Foreign Affairs, Mr. Ademola Oshodi, says Japan has seen the potential of Lagos State, which is why the country is willing to collaborate in the area of technology as well as other areas.
I think there's situations whereby Japan has seen the growth and potential of the third largest economy in Africa, that's Lagos State, in collaboration with Japan, the third largest economy in the world. It's more courtesy. I think they will discuss issues around how they can enhance their presence in each environment, especially Japan is in Lagos. Japan has been very conversant with the automobile industry, a lot of technology, infrastructure, and of course the Japanese Development Agency, JICA, has been quite helpful to the federal government on agriculture and other areas. So I believe that the visit of the Japanese ambassador here in Lagos would in many ways enhance the relationship of the state and the federal government of Nigeria.
Staying in Africa, a UN fact-finding mission has determined that evidence of atrocities carried out during the siege and takeover of the Sudanese city of El Fasher points to genocide. The paramilitary Rapid Support Forces captured El Fasher, located in the western region of Darfur, at the end of October 2025 after an 18-month blockade. It was one of the most brutal chapters in Sudan's nearly 3-year civil war and triggered widespread international outrage. This is the closest the UN has come to declaring that genocide is being carried out by RSF fighters in Darfur during the current conflict. The report concludes that at least 3 underlying acts of genocide were committed, including killing members of a protected ethnic group, causing serious bodily and mental harm, and deliberately inflicting conditions of life calculated to bring about the group's physical destruction in whole or in part. And almost 20,000 peacekeepers serve with the United Nations mission in South Sudan to protect civilians and build durable peace in the conflict-affected country. The civilian police and military personnel from 73 countries carry out many duties under the mandate provided by the United Nations Security Council. Their work falls under 4 main pillars: protection of civilians, creating conditions conducive to the delivery of humanitarian assistance, supporting the implementation of the revitalized agreement and the peace process, and monitoring and investigating human rights. Meanwhile, the Peace and Reconciliation Forum in the Great Lakes region has issued an urgent appeal to Rwandan combatants still hiding in the forest of the Democratic Republic of Congo, urging them to return immediately to their homeland. The call was made during a field visit to the Mutubo Rehabilitation Center near Mukingo in northern Rwanda, where a 200-member delegation observed the reintegration process for returning combatants. The group included 140 Congolese and 60 Rwandan representatives. Meanwhile, fellow delegate Bishop Kunde Alex stressed that Rwanda stands ready to receive its citizens. According to organizers, the visit is aimed to verify conditions at the center and address conflicting reports about the fate of former FDLR combatants who have returned to Rwanda. Though the rehabilitation program, Rwandan authorities say the door is open to those not implicated in serious war crimes in an effort to encourage voluntary disarmament and repatriation. The appeal comes amid continued instability in eastern DRC, where clashes persist despite a ceasefire brokered by the United States and an accompanying economic agreement. The government in Kinshasa has repeatedly accused Rwanda of backing the M23 rebel movement, an allegation Kigali has consistently denied. And that's the world today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Joke Rogers.